name is Jeanette, and I want to thank you for joining me on the channel Jane Reads. So everybody is doing reading journal videos right now. It really feels like, and I love watching them, but I am not crafty like that. I don't feel like doing a lot of bullet journals with drawings and things like that. That's just not me. But I love a spiral notebook. That is my go-to. I always have, do I have anything on here? I always have one sitting on my desk that I just write random notes in. Always. I have one at work as well, same thing. And so I have been using a spiral notebook for my reading journal for 3 years now. 2024 is my third year, I want to say. Pretty sure. And so obviously, this one is 2024. Obviously, 2025, exact same thing. I really should do something on the cover, right? But I do have the year, because the very first page is my reading goals that has the year. So I do know what year. And only one is really sitting out at a time. And I know that 24 is red, so I can know that 25 is black. I don't know. Okay, so I am going to do an overhead and I'm going to flip through it. Now know that my 2024 is not completely done yet because the year's not done. So obviously none of the yearly stats are done. But everything else is pretty much up to date other than a few reviews I'm missing that I really should go back and fill in at some point, but you'll see that as I'm flipping through. So let's go overhead and take a look at what I do for my reading journal. Hopefully this lighting is okay. You can see the shadow of my tripod stand, but that's the way it's going to be. So my first page is my reading goals for 2024. Next two pages are just a calendar where I track when I post, which I did not keep up with for December. Okay, then the next page is new releases for 2024. So I've got January, February, March, April, right to December. Then the check marks beside them are if I read them. Then I have a page for my 2025 releases so that I can easily see what's coming out next year. Then I have my read every day, where this year I wrote down the book when I finished it, so book number 20, for example. And beside it, I put, if it was an audiobook, I put headphones and stuff. I'm not doing that next year. I'll put the book number, but that's it. Then I have my goal tracker. So my goal was to read 122 books. And so and then I colored in the book based on my star rating. The spine of the book, which you can't really see. You can barely tell. So you can kind of see that the spines are different for like a section. You can't see that at all. So we've got like red spines and then purple spines. That is based on the month. So that matches with my monthly color on my yearly reading tracker. Then the bottom square underneath is the format I read it in. So green if I read it physically or on my Kindle, like I read it with my eyes. The pink is if I listen to it completely, so with audiobook only. And then the blue is if I read and listened to the audiobook. So if I tandem read the book. Then the next page is where I just tracked all the audiobooks and where I got it from. So I didn't have enough pages this year because I only had the one page and I listened to more. So I just have this loose page with them. So I changed out how I'm tracking so that I can track where I got the book from. Because is my Audible membership worth it? Am I listening to enough? Then my A to Z challenge. So currently I was only marking down books that I gave 4 or 5 star ratings. So they're the ones in the black ink. Then I have a couple spots filled in with ones I gave 3 stars. But if I came across a 4 star, then it would take the place. So I just haven't finalized it yet. Then Then we have my two bingo boards. So on the left is my 24 TBR bingo board, which meant they're the 24 and 24, and I've never read these books, and I'm happy to say I completed it. I just completed the Power Play a couple days ago, but I completed this bingo board. Then I have my rereads bingo board, which I did not complete. As you can see, there's 5 left. I'm most likely not going to complete any of them. So these are 24 and 24 books that I have read before and I wanted to reread this year. Hasn't happened. Then I have my arc tracker. I had a goal of doing 1 arc per month, so that's what this was to track it for. I didn't stick with that goal. However, I also only did 11 arcs. So technically I stuck with it, but there was a couple months I think I did 2 books instead of just 1. So yeah. And then that's just tracking what the book was, when the release date, where I got it from. Did I read it? Have I reviewed it? Have I posted my review? Okay, then we get into the reading challenges. So I have Oshina's Christian Romance Reading Challenge. I'm proud to say I've completed it. I have my own reading challenge, which again, I'm very proud to say I completed. Then we have Katie's from Paperbacks and Ponytails, and I am so happy I completed this because I was up to date in November. I had no idea what I was going to read in November. And I decided to listen to A Brilliant Night of Stars and Ice on Audible because I really wanted to read it, but it was leaving the Plus catalog at the end of December. And I was like, oh, if I read it now, I won't have to pay a credit, right? So I read it because I needed an audiobook to listen to as well. Well, then I was looking at the sample on Amazon, and the very first page had a map of the Titanic's location and the ships around it, how far they were. I was so excited when I found that. So I was able to complete this challenge because I had no idea what I was going to read for a map. Then we have Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge, and I have completed this. I just have not written in December's book yet. But December's book is just, I have to read a book in a series. I've read 5 books in a series this month, so I just have to pick one. Then I have my series tracker. So this page was the 8 priority series that I wanted to complete this year, and I'm very proud to say I have completed it. Then I just have all the other series I was reading. So the ones typed are the ones I had planned on reading this year. It's at least one of the books from the series. And then the written ones were ones that I started this year. And I started 4 and I completely completed 2. Perfect. Then I have all my 5-star reads for the year. And I have completely run out of room. And I'm pretty sure the book I'm reading is going to be a 5-star. So yeah, that's a problem. Then I have my yearly stats page. And as you can see, obviously December's not completed. December's not done yet. Then we get into the monthly ones. So this page is left for my yearly wrap up. I can't do it yet because the year's not done. So then I have January. So I have my TBR bunkers, my new books. Anything with a check mark beside, again, is read. Then on the next page are the books I actually read that month. And then reading challenges that I participated in. So I participated in Read in the New Year with Holly and Oshina. Then this is February, Once Upon a February. Yeah, there was a bunch of hosts for that one. Then we have February, so my TBR bunkers and my new books. And then the books I read, and then my new books carried over on the next page. Oops. Then again, we have March, TBR bunkers, new books, and books read. So basically the main monthly page is exactly like this. April, TBR Bonkers, new books, books read. Then another readathon with Katie. Then Amanda's Southern Charm readathon for May. Then we've got May, the TBR, my new books, books read. And again, I carried on to the next page. So June, TBR Bonkers, new books, books read. July, TBR Bonkers, new books, books read. Then another readathon I participated in, and just down here is the books that I read for them. Then I co-hosted the Olympics readathon with Holly, and so this was our printable, and then the books I read. And then August, I've just realized I did not total yellow. Oops. Okay, August is TBR Bonkers, new books, books read. And then I also co-hosted the Keep Me in Suspense readathon with Caitlin and Amanda, and so then what I read. Then I participated in a deck of TBR with Becca and Chloe, and these are all the books, the cards I drew, the books I read. September, TBR Bonkers, new books, again, a big haul. Books read, more new books. October, TBR Bonkers, new books, books read. Katie's Journey Through the Bible readathon for the month of October. I have written on here the books I read, but you can't really see them very well. Well, I guess I could write them on the back. Then my November TBR, my new books, and books read. Then I decided to participate in the Bucket Listathon readathon that was from November 15th to December 15th. So this was the TBR I got for it. And I've just put check marks beside them if I read the books. Then my December TBR, and again, check marks beside if I've read them. I have not written out my new books yet. I need to do that because I have hauled books. And then books read. Okay, then we get into the book review section. So just a page for where the section starts. And then this is how I started the year for my book reviews. So you might see spoilers on here. I don't know. Don't read too closely. So just the title, the author, the genre, where it was set, who the main characters were, and then any of my comments and what I rated it. Oh, and when I finished it. And then I started putting book covers in because I thought that would be fun. So this is kind of how it started. So 1 page per book. Then at some point, I decided I didn't want to write that much. Didn't even write anything. Didn't write anything there either, or there. Okay, and so then I decided to do 2 per page instead. So I split it in half because, as you can see, some of them I just wasn't writing much. So again, I kept all the same basic information for the book. I just divided the page in half, and then I just wrote what my rating was. So again, the colors are kind of my color for the month. This is like on my monthly spreads. If it says June, it's in this color. And then all the book titles are written, and star rating is written in that color. And that's the way I've just kept it going this year. And that's the way I'm going to keep it going forward. So this is where I will write if I have a quote from the book that I really liked, like here, for example. Usually I don't write it on the side. Usually it's here. But if I get kind of wordy, then it ends up on the side. So sometimes this isn't enough room. Other times, it's fine. It's a rare book where it's not enough room. And that's kind of the way it continues. And that's where I am right now. Okay, then I have a section for just notes and video ideas. Oh, So any books that have been recommended to me by booktubers or subscribers. I'm not very good at keeping this completed, so I have not included this in my current reading journal. I will probably add it at some point. I just haven't done it yet. And then any books I DNF'd. I did only DNF the ones, so. And then if I'm looking at buddy reading with somebody, it goes here. Again, I didn't really keep this up because I did more buddy reads than that. And then this is where I just keep notes for video ideas and my notes for the video. So that's what all this is, just random notes. If it's a tag, like what the questions are, things like that. And that is my 2024 reading journal. Okay, 2025. You'll see that I've kept things the same or I've changed some things up. So kept the same is the first page is my reading goals for the year. Again, it says the year 2025, and then it has all my goals. Then I kept the calendar because I really like this, so 2 pages of calendar. Then I have the upcoming releases, so 2025 releases up to December. And then I have a page for 2026 new releases. Then I have my read every day, which I'm going to do the exact same way, just not put the headphones. Then I have my page to track my books. I just haven't picked my star rating colors yet, so that's why there's no color on this page. There will be eventually. Then I want to just have a running list of my books read. I do keep a spreadsheet, but I thought it'd be nice to have it in the reading journal, and I will just color in the stars with the month's color, whatever the month's color is. And then I want to mark whether it was physical, Kindle, or audio, and kind of what size, like how many pages. So I have 104, so I have a couple pages of that. I have enough for 140 books. I do not need that much space, but I have 28 books per page here. So I needed to do another one to get the right number, to at least get just over 100. Then I have a page for 5-star reviews. Again, I only have the 1 page, so depending how my year goes, this might not be enough. We'll see what happens. Then I have 2 pages to track my audiobooks. This should be enough. Then I have a page to track any books that I borrow physically, so I can mark them from the church library, from the public library, from a friend, or did I get it somewhere else? And then I have just a page to track my arcs. Okay, then these are my TBR bingo boards this year. So they are spaced to put the book covers on top instead of coloring in by star rating. I will link my 25 and 25 video, which kind of explains this a little bit more. So I don't know where the books go on this bingo board until I scratch the card. So that's why it says once a line is completed, I can pull a reward card. So I scratch the card, I find out that it goes into spot number 15, for example. And then that book, if there's covers here, that would complete this line. So I can pull a reward card. We'll see how long it takes for me to complete 1 line. So that is this. Then just my rereads bingo board again is 25 and 25 books that I want to reread. And once I've read them, I will put the book cover on here. Then I have all my series. So these are all series that I am currently in the middle of, or I expect to start sometime next year, or I have the books so I could start the series. We'll see. I might not get to them next year, but my goal is to make progress in at least 25 series. So I have all my series here. And continued. And then I have room to write if there's series I'm not aware of. Then I have my authors zero list, and this is all the books that I need to read by the 11 authors that I mentioned in my authors to zero video. So I will link that in the description. Okay, then we get into reading challenge, the yearly reading challenges. So this is my yearly reading challenge. So my goal is to complete 5 of them. I have more than 5 in here, but as long as I complete 5, we'll see what happens. So my yearly reading challenge, then we have, oh, I should put the name. Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand is doing Go with the Flow with somebody else. I can't think who the other person is. So then I will write the books below. Then we have Oshina's Christian Romance Challenge. We have Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge. She didn't have a printable at the time of me putting this together, so I just created one. Then I have the Buzzword Challenge. I thought this might be fun to try this year. Then I have Katie's Princess Bride-a-thon. We'll see how I do with that one. Then we have Alma's Journey Through Time one and Amanda's Southern Comfort. And then I had an extra page, so I figured let's do the A to Z challenge again and see how it goes. Okay, then we get into kind of yearly reading. So this is for Chantel's Year of Maud. Again, she did not have a printable, so I just created one. And this is what month and what the book is that's planned for that month, and then I'll put a check mark here if I read it. Then I just have a spread for any book clubs or group reads, so each month on the side, so 6 months. And then in pen I will write if I plan on participating in that group read. So Tammy from Protagonist Pub is doing Persuasion by Jane Austen in January, so I plan on participating. Right now, that's the only one I know of. I'm sure there will be others coming up. Then readathons. So same thing, January to June and then July to December. And I'll just write down the name of the readathon. And in pen means I plan on participating for sure. And then I've got a couple just written in pencil that, I expect them to happen, but there's nothing being announced yet. It's still early. We'll see what happens. Then I have my TBR book balance. My goal was to only have 130 books on my TBR. Unread, well, that is not currently the status. We'll see how it is at the end of December. But so we will have a start, whatever that number is, and then how many ARCs I brought in, how many physical books I brought in, how many ebooks I brought in, and then how many ARCs did I read, how many of the books I own did I read, did I unhaul any, and what is my end number, and then just what's the change. So from this number to this number, 4 books. We'll see. Then again, I just have my yearly stats page. Okay, and yearly wrap up. It is not 2 pages, as you can see. I need to correct that. Okay, then we get into January. So this is my January TBR. I can't buy books because I don't have very much room. I don't plan on buying books. Then I created a spread just to track the number of books. So book and title, star rating. I'm not artistic, so I don't draw stars. And then is it physical, Kindle, or audio? And if it's a combo, I'll just mark which combos I read. Then this is the board for the TBR-a-thon that I play to get my TBR. Then I'm going to participate in Oshina's and Holly's Read in the New Year challenge. And then I'm co-hosting Epiphany January. So there is the board and the prompts. And that is all I have currently right now, because I will create February's when it's ready. Then flipping to book reviews. So I've created this to put all the book covers. Last year, bring it back for a minute. So last year I was adding book covers this way, but because they were all like in the same spot, it made it very hard to write. Sometimes you can kind of see a little bit it kind of got bulky. So I thought I'll do it this way. So I've got book covers, and then I can put the star rating right under it, and I can just see them at a glance. So again, I have enough pages for 140 books because that's what's on the spreadsheet at the front. And then this is where my reviews will start. Again, it's going to be the exact same as last year. 2 reviews per page. I haven't set it up yet. And so I have enough spaces for all that. And then I have my notes and ideas section. I was fighting with my printer and I could not get this to print in color in the right size. I printed a couple times and it came out like this tiny size, like a quarter of the page almost. So I was like, I give up. I just printed in black and white. And then I haven't written anything in here yet. I just have room for my notes. So that is my reading journal. So that is the flip through of my 2 reading journals. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments and I will be sure to respond. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video today, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.